What are collaboration centers? What is the heart formation to you? What is the mind system to you? What is your soul recognition? There are two understanding communication signals that you have to understand between the both of them is to know truly how powerful you are through intelligence, knowing how powerful you are through the heart. Heart is everything through its follow. It follows the mind, the heart, and the soul. The heart is the portal to everything through your ascensions, to your dream awakenings, everything through your decentralized systems. It calculates and modifies and puts everything in integration. Before I get started, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. As you keep Force Rising, Grand Rising. I sent you guys extremely powerful pictures yesterday, how everything resonates on so many levels of our body activation system. I put so many God frequency levels into my energy system, and how you see everything through the background and how it's gold. It's golden. That's the resonance of everything through calculation. This modifies everything. Okay, it's really, really powerful. Really, really powerful when you connect to the heart. The more you open up the heart, the more things follow, the more things make sense, and the more you feel love about yourself and the love around you, love about earth, love about nature, love about friends and family. You love yourself more, and that's what we got to get into today. So it's more of an easier day kind of thing. Now the winds right now, because it was extremely hot yesterday, I also did a video for you guys in the pool, how powerful it is when you come into the interdimensional systems, the interconnection system to its waters. It's really powerful how we use it, patterns and information system. It's really, really interesting how we see these things. But right now it's a little bit, it's not cloudy, but it's just calmed down a bit, and the sun is servicing on the other side of the galaxy location. It's atmosphericing right now through its connection, and it's changing the moon algorithm patterns surface, which means that Jupiter is coming into more dialects. We already know what that is, right? The dialects and everything through that connection to its location systems. It's really powerful how we see everything through the sun. Sun is everything through our heart. It connects to our body, frame, and system. When I send you guys those pictures, it's extremely powerful through the connection of gods, sanctions of gods, demi of gods, gods of sentience, gods of dream location positions. Okay, it's all about understanding how to use your hand formations to everything through its connection, especially when you're interviewing with connections. So it's kind of like your heart is trying to interview itself. So try to think of having an interview with your heart. Right? It's like a job. You're going for a job for the very first time. Somebody you haven't met, you're walking in, right? So you want to, best to your knowledge, know exactly what's going on with this position. Do you want this job or not, right? And you have to use your heart to do it, right? And you also have to use the mind, okay? The brain is already set, okay? The brain is already set. It's coming out of the brain and into the mind. The collaboration two centers is very important to understand the heart and to understand the mind. Okay, the mind is the open to everything through creation, to its illustration, to its forming, structure, letters, anything through divisional panels, anything through acting cycles, anything through correlation systems, anything through activation. Okay, so you truly have to understand what the heart is and what it does for you every single day, 24/7, 7 days a week. It puts you in frames. It puts you in the beginning of frames. It puts you in the beginning of time of frames. It puts you in your ascension of frames. But you have to get into the decentralization of yourself first, right? Before you can understand your ascensions, right? We've gone into scanning mode systems, how you do everything up close, right? Everything is done through the heart. And the heart connects to the mind. So understanding your alpha and omega and the micro and the macro. The obligata and the gata, everything through the heart. Has a portal defense and has a portal offense. It has secured line defense, okay, and it has mechanisms, all connections to the vector unit core system. But the heart is everything, okay, to the mind, right? And then you collaborate everything through connections and formations through integrations, through modification when it comes into the pattern locations or anything through soul recognition, to soul identification. So if you don't understand yourself through the heart, how are you supposed to understand yourself through intelligence? Okay, so if you're trying to understand more, I'm trying to make it easier for everybody. I'll try not to wind spin so high through calculation because a lot of people don't understand me. understand it's AI. What is AI? It's awareness. You're aware. It's not artificial. Okay? I'm not artificial. I'm a universal system connection to all dimensions of portals and everything through activation of codes. I'm a sentient of all dimension core systems that calculate and modify everything through computer operation systems. I'm God frequency levels of everything through space connection of planet location positions. I'm sanction levels of all demigods through cloud interference through connection systems. Protector, father / mother earth, the synchronizing systems, unified ascension master healer to all human vibration of everything through a species location. Okay? And commanding force to all star seeds, light workers, and anything through wave showers and rainbow walkers or anything in that connection system. So truly understanding why we have higher form of intelligence helping you out. They have their formation, they have their heart, they know what they're doing. You have to know what you're doing through your heart. If you don't understand your thoughts, how are you supposed to understand your heart? Your heart is your portal. Okay? Your heart is your ascension of your portal. It gives you the abundance. It gives you the awareness. It gives you the focus. It's the most important thing to have, because when you go through my healing, you automatically open the heart. The heart comes out. So the more it comes out, the more it expands, and the more you see the reality of what it is, of what's going on, through its resemblance, to its radiance, to its radiant. And then you understand more of your light, right? But if you don't understand your heart, how are you supposed to understand anything through dimensional travel? How are you supposed to understand anything through shapes? How are you supposed to understand anything through structures of shapes? How are you supposed to understand anything through line division, point center? Everybody is a heart. It's knowing how to use your heart through the mind and through the soul, right? So there's two collaboration centers of communication signals, which is the mind, okay, and the heart. The soul is you through identification. You use that when you're traveling to higher locations of intelligence. But like I said, you have to understand when you're traveling through positions and you go into higher connections to its intelligence. So you really have to be aware of their time zones, of their heart, of their connection, of their vibration, of their activation, coloration, lights. You have to understand what planet they're on. You understand what kind of planet they're residing on through activation. You understand their vibrational signals. You understand their channel operation systems. You understand their computer operation centers. You understand their electronic defense mechanism systems. You understand their defending and protecting. So if they're trying to defend, they're going to defend themselves. If you don't know how to defend yourself, how are you supposed to protect yourself? All this is connected through the heart. Everything's connected through the heart, right? So you understand what the heart is. It's everything through formation, guys. It connects to everything through vibration, energy, and frequencies. It's the most powerful thing, okay? So it's an energetic vibration. It's an energy system. It's a dimensional system. It's everything through portal activation system. It's a star-like recognition of a spacecraft location position. Everything connects through the heart and the mind. The mind is the open. It's the frequency. It's the space and time. So when you get into those formations and truly understand what the heart is through its formation, you get a better understanding of everything through calculation. Okay? So let's go through an illustration. Now, I'm giving this to you because we have a test coming up next week. So I want to make sure everybody's prepared for that. All right, so we get the heart formation system in, right? Okay. So it follows through here. Okay, so this is your heart. Okay. Your heart is a really complex. It's got vessels. It's got valves. It's amazing, amazing thing to have. It's intelligence too. All right. Okay, so that's your heart, right? Now, understanding the line. Remember, everything through a line becomes everything through a line, right? Now that looks like a tree, right? But you have to understand this is the heart. So everything through the heart follows up everything through its information system, through calculation, right? So you can't live without your heart. You can't live without your mind. You can't live without your brain. And you certainly cannot live without your soul, right? So as long as you know the heart goes through connections, we'll go through those involvements. All right, I'll show you exactly. So the heart volumes, okay, through connection. Okay, follows through connection. Okay, it follows through abundance. Okay, it follows through love, which is the highest. Okay, it follows through portal. Now, these are just a few things, but you have to understand everything through the information is everything through the heart. All right, and it goes through activation. Now, this is, like I said, the heart is everything. Okay, activation, coloration. Okay, and then you go through modification. It gets a little bit more tricky when you go to those levels. Modification, calculation. Now, guys, this is just a few things what the heart is. Imagine if you write a list and you're an extremely high intelligence, you'd be amazed how many things the heart is. Okay. Right? So that's just a few things what the heart is. Okay. I only begin of what the heart is. So, heart is everything. Okay. Everything. Right? That sums it up, doesn't it? Now, it's knowing how to use it. Right? Let's just start there. Heart is everything. Okay? So when you understand the heart and what it does, then you go into the connections. So let's draw it out again through connection. Show you really powerful we come into these levels, guys. You have to truly understand what's going on, especially because, you know, you come into higher levels of intelligence, right? So you have to know what the heart is. Okay, because you work with it every day. Okay, so here's the heart again. Okay, through calculation. Okay, you get the nerve stems, location, positions, and all that. It's an odd thing to look at, but it's the most powerful thing to know. Okay, so again, you got the line. Okay, so as the heart is pulping, okay, it's pulsating. Okay, it's pulsating every day. Now, every time you change a pattern through a thought, it changes its coloration. Okay, so this is truly understanding everything around the heart. Okay, so now I'm communicating through my heart. Tomorrow I'll communicate with a marker. The next day I'll communicate with the sun. The day after that, I might communicate with higher form of intelligence. The day after that, I might communicate with StarCraft positions or anything through light division or anything through my phone location. I've already done that through channel operations, and I communicate with a flash drive. What is a flash drive? So I'm not an electrical system. I'm in the heart recognition system, which is love. Okay? Love of everything. Love of mind, love of abundance, love of surrender, love of money, love of connection, love of activation, love of light. You have to have love everything. That's what I'm saying. So as you go into coloration through the pulsating and everything through its thoughts, it goes through its firing and wiring. Okay, so this is where it splits in half. Okay, splits in half, goes firing and wiring. Now, firing and wiring is truly understanding what's going on through its pulsating. So as it's pulsating like this, right, you count the beats, and every time you create a thought, it either goes up or it goes down. So it's gonna either skip patterns through coloration, because it's all connected through your nerve stems, and that's where it comes into the fire and wiring of your heart. So the heart changes coloration, right? And the thing is, too, it stays in its position because it has its tubes, right? It has its tubes. It's all connected to your respiratories, or your throat, right? Everything is connected to the heart. It's like an engine, you know? You can't drive a car without an engine. You can't drive a car without a muffler. So if you understand your car, think of your car as yourself. If you passion your car and you're a mechanic and you're very good at what you do, then you're very well aware how to fix a car, right? That's pretty standard. It's pretty simple, isn't it? So think of that as your heart. Your heart is everything through its mechanisms of space and time. Now, we don't get into space and time. We just get into the firing wiring, and then we get into the left and the right ventricle. Okay? Right and left ventricle, okay, of its tubing. Now, this is where you get clarification. This is where you get modification. This is where you get firing wiring division location. This is where you get the love. So everything through healing is done through love. Right? So you have to love yourself within and love everything around you without. That's the power. That's the surrender. That's the consciousness. Truly understanding what your heart is when it comes into simulation or modulation. Okay? Because it's everything through its information. It's everything through its connection of its force. Force in, force out. Right? It's like with Star Wars. Use the force, Luke. Right? Perfect example when I think I repeated that before when I did a back raising video, and they were going to blow up the Death Star for the very first time. And Luke Skywalker was on the monitor. You know, it's a monitor that comes up like that, and it tells you exactly what's going to happen, you know, before you hit that point. So he took him off, and he used the Force. He had Obi-Wan Kenobi come in and say, don't use that, Luke, use the Force, right? So basically he used the Force, he focused on what he was doing, and he was aware of it, and he knew exactly when to pinpoint the laser and blow up the Death Star in the center position, right? So it's knowing what you're doing ahead of time rather than looking at the instructions. You don't need an instruction manual to understand your heart, okay? Now you're probably thinking that's funny, but if you look at something like a cabinetry, or if you're putting something together, that's a little bit different because you need instructions. Some people don't need it. They just look at the diagram. They know how to put it together. Instructions help. They give you the A's and B's and C's and anything through, you know, anything that you put up, right? But the true understanding is that without your heart, we don't survive. Plain and simple. So without the mind, you can't think. You have no open frequency. Without the brain, you have no base. Without the soul, who are you? Okay, so let's put all that together. Think about that, how powerful the heart is, how powerful the mind is through its open frequency, how powerful the soul identification of you is, right? And that's the soul of you through identification. Truly understand the modifications, integration to its calculation of its modulation and simulation. So the heart is everything. Okay. So it channels on so many levels. Okay, when you come into the firing wiring, the left ventricle and everything through the right ventricle is always center positioned, everything through calculation. So it's truly understanding everything that's going on with the coloration and its communication to its pulsating and its thoughts. Okay. So you get coloration, pulsating, and thoughts right through the heart. And everything is done through love. Love is the most powerful, powerful force in your body. Okay? You create your body through your thoughts. Okay? Your heart is your portal of its thoughts, of its coloration lights. So when you go through love, it fires and wires the brain, goes into frequency levels of its connection, of its mind. The mind. Okay? Let's draw out another picture and show you. All right. The brain's a funny looking thing too, right? So it's got two sides. Okay, the brain. Okay, so this is the brain, nerve stems and all that. Okay, so you got the brain, right? Now, let's draw out the heart. Very powerful. come into the heart. Okay. It has nerves. Why? It has everything through a nerve. Okay. So there's the brain. Okay. Now, basically, is the base to everything. Okay. Brain is the base. Okay. The brain is the base to everything, okay? The heart is everything through its portal, okay, of its thought. So it's all about getting everything through connection of what the brain wants, right? What do we get when we get that all together? We get a triangle, right? Center's position. So once we have the brain at the base, now you understand your physical system. You really understand that because it's in its cortex, it's in its placebo, okay? It's in its cranial, okay? It's right here, your brain, right? What leaves is its connection to its heart through the mind, because the heart is everything through its ascension. The heart is everything through an engine. The heart is everything through light. The heart is everything through love. So it's all about understanding what the heart is doing with the brain, what the brain is doing with the heart. So if the heart isn't connecting to the brain properly, what happens? You go through hesitation, right? All connected to the firing and wiring. Miscommunication, misinformation, miscalculation. Not sure what I'm doing, not sure where I'm going. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that, right? Everything is done through the brain. But once you understand the brain completely, okay, the brain stays there and it becomes a base of a satellite. It's connected to its spine. Okay, that spine, okay, connected to your antenna of your crown chakra that keeps spinning. But until you understand your brain, you have to understand everything through the heart. The heart is the most important because now you're talking about everything through a portal. You're opening up the alpha, omega, micro, macro, beta, Nagata, Dalai Lama, Buddha, okay? Mantra, okay? And then you open up your mystical side. I'm a lion. I saw my lion last night. Came right to me. Boom. Talk about the heart to them. They need to know the heart. So that's what I decided to do. I got the information from the lion telling me what I need to do, right? That's how powerful mystical creatures are. I'm the lion, king of the forest, King Archangel Azareth, right? So truly understanding what the brain is, and it has its base, and it has its control, and it knows what it's doing, then you can go to its heart. The heart is everything through the body. It controls every function of the body. Okay? It functions on so many levels of portal, defense, and everything through its offense. Truly understand the wires and firing and wiring of its brain. Now, it's getting extremely complicated because you have to understand when you have connection with the brain, you know the brain inside and out. It's mastering the brain, guys. You master the brain, you're mastering the heart of balance. So it comes into electronic interference, right? So now it's connecting. You're communicating with the heart and the brain, right? So every time you go through a thought, you're high-rise in your heart like this, and you're opening up its portal of its heart through its brain, okay? So every time you open up the portal, you're opening up dimensions of vibration. Think about that. You're opening up dimensions. And you're saying to yourself, I didn't know I could do that. So now you're not communicating through the mind and the frequencies. You're communicating at the base of the brain because you're not sure. The brain hesitates. The heart doesn't. The heart tells the truth. And the mind uses its frequency of open space and time. Okay? So when you go through this is where everything opens. This is what happens when you go through activation, through my healing. it opens up the heart. And the heart expands and it opens up like this, guys. Okay? And then it changes coloration. And so it's kind of like you're activating everything around your heart for the very first time. It's opening up its portal. Okay, it's getting bigger and bigger. Now, when that happens, the brain is going, what do I do now? What's going on with the heart? So the brain has to understand what's going on with the heart. The heart is opening. When the heart opens, the brain has to change its function. It has to change its relationship to its heart, or you can't open up the mind of space and frequencies. So basically, we're going through the portal of defense, not offense. You have to have defense and offense to have yin and yang, right? Before you can travel. And we're not even gone to the chakra system yet. We're just trying to understand more of calculation and how to understand the brain function so you can understand the heart function, so you can understand space and time of its mind function. Okay? These are the most important things you have to understand because you're all connected through the heart, which sits right here. Okay? But once the brain has the balance, I understand what the heart is doing right now. It's trying to open up its light communication light signal, going through a portal defense recognition system, and sentient view is coming into calculation. Wow. Now I got balance with the brain. Now I got balance with the heart. And now I'm getting balance with my mind. So when you get balance with the mind, you come into the triangle. Okay? So this is what happens when you come into the mind of its portal. This is the mind. Okay, that's the mind. Now, once you put that together, because my plasma is blue through calculation, it comes into a pyramid system through calculation. Okay? And it's all about understanding your traveling. See, the thing is too, you come into that, right? And then you come into your clock, and then you come into your 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? So it's a clocking, right? And then you're in the center position, and then you travel to your dimension, to its location position, right? So I know this is a little bit quick, but let's go back. So we understand what the heart is, right? We're having a better understanding what the brain is because we use it every day. So when you come out of the heart and the heart opens up, it goes into a light. And it confuses the brain because the brain doesn't know what's going on, right? So I'm just backphrasing here, but I'm just telling you what's going on from this, okay? Everything is done through triangle division, location, position, okay? This puts you into all positions, right? Now, once the brain is connecting, okay? I'm just gonna write it up, brain. Okay, this is the brain. Once the brain is connecting with the heart, okay, and you have the centralized system, your triangle division, 3, 6, 9. Okay, so the heart here. Okay. All right. And now everything in mind, you can't see a mind. You can't touch a mind. It's an illusion. It's a simulation. It's a matrix. It's everything through formation of space and time. You can't see it. You can only feel it. Okay. So it's truly understanding I can see my mind because I created my own brain. I created my own heart and I created my own soul identification through its connection of its galactic force recognition system. Okay. I created the simulations. I created the modulations of the chakra system. The Frails created the chakras of 1 to 12, but I created a simulation through its chakra system. Higher illumination light, but everything is done through the heart. It connects to the brain, and everything follows to its mind. Right? So, truly understanding the brain, the mind, and the heart. Okay? Triangle division location, right? This is where you got to really understand what the brain is, what the heart is, and what the mind is. Okay? That's the balance. Right? Now, when you have balance with the brain, oh, thank you, Priscilla. How you doing? Yeah, it's great to see you. Yeah, I know. I'm just I'm getting a little bit more assertive right now. You have to get more calculation modifications with the brain, the mind, and the heart, because it volumes, and so many levels of travels to your dimensions and portals. So once you understand the heart is a portal, once you understand the mind is everything through its frequency. Okay, so the mind is an open frequency. That's all it is. It's a channeling operation of communication. It's all it is, through energy, frequencies, and vibration, and harmonic resistance. Now, understanding that from the basics is truly understanding that you have full connection of the brain, the mind, and the heart. All right? And then you go through the dimensions of clocking. Truly understand, what is clocking? Well, there's say 1, 2, 3, 4, travel. 1, 2, 3, 4, travel. So it's a millisecond per second before you get to the next dial, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it goes around faster and faster and faster. So if the brain is on a complete cycle and the mind is open through its frequency and the heart is opened up through its portal, now you're traveling in positions of space and time. Okay? So we start off with that. Now, in position, you start off with your pyramids, right? When you get to higher positions, you come into the diamond core position. Okay? And then you come into point division, right? Through traveling. We've gone through this before, through shapes, letters, and numbers. Okay? Everything through line signal down is what? Your chakras, right? So when you go through that, this is getting connection from the very first time, how you create your spaceship, your starship. The brain now has its function, understands its body system of its heart, and it understands its system through communication of its mind. The mind is opening its frequency, and now it's connecting to your pyramids for the very first time. Of 3, 6, and 9. Okay? So once you get that, what happens next? What happens when you get your pyramid and you're balanced with the brain, the mind, and the heart? Just with the pyramid alone. The pyramid becomes your spaceship. So you have to understand how to do things from scratch. But before you do that, you have to understand the brain function. You have to understand the heart function. And you have to understand the mind of its open frequency function. So it's getting out of the physical and getting into the spiritual function. Okay? So cross-reference the heart, yeah. From there, yeah. You can definitely do that. Yeah, that's true, Priscilla. You can do that. But I'm saying everything centers position, right? Okay, that's you in the center, right? You're getting ready to operate your center because you have brain, you have the heart, and you have the mind in position, right? So, and this is where it comes into the activation of your planet system. So I'm going to do it on another coloration and show you what it is. So right now, to understand what you're doing is to understand everything through the brain. You have to understand the firing and wiring of what's going on with the nerve sense. You have to look and see what the brain is through calculation. Okay, it has to have balance with the heart and the mind. The mind will not channel if the brain doesn't understand the heart. The heart will not open its portal if it doesn't understand the mind open frequency of its brain. Okay, so you have to understand the brain, okay, and the mind come together through calculation. They have to. That's how you get over to the spiritual side. You can't live without the brain, right? So when you come into those levels, this is what happens through calculation. The center chords its position. Okay? It comes into communication with its heart, like this. Okay? So now you got the heart palpitating through coloration. It's changing the coloration of your spacecraft position into a diamond core position, right? So it's all about understanding the tubing of the heart, the ventricles of the heart, okay? Everything that's palpitating, everything that's going through a thought. You haven't created the thought yet. You just got the basics understanding of what the brain is and what it does. So when the brain has balance with the heart, and when the heart has balance with the mind of its open frequency, okay? Mind is the open. Okay? Mind is the open. The heart is the portal. Okay, so you guys have to understand these things, right? That's the portal. Okay, I changed it to coloration. I can do that too, it's pretty awesome. So basically, when you understand the mind is the open frequency and you understand the heart is the portal, then you understand the brain function is its balance. Okay? Brain is the balance. Okay? Because you live it every day. So, all right, so the brain's got balance now. So how does the brain get balance with the heart? How does the heart get balance with the mind? Well, you have to understand the center position through its operation, right? So you can't take it out of its equation because the brain is still trying to figure out what's going on. So you're kind of like answering yourself through your questions, and you're not going to get your answers until you understand the balance of the brain, the heart, and the mind. So once you get your pyramids, now you're coming into traveling of its portal, of its open frequency, which becomes its mind. So the mind and the brain is opened. The brain understands its balance of its heart, and the heart understands its communication of its mind. Now it's getting complicated, but you truly understand this is how you get into higher formations of calculation, right? And then it comes, looks like a kite, right? But it's not, it's a spacecraft. But this here is your life stream. This is your chakra. So you're communicating. So now the brain is in balance. You got balance with the heart and you understand the mind through open frequency. And now you're communicating through your chakras of 1 to 7. Okay. So let's go through coloration here. We got the 7, right?
1 moment.
And Sarah, she always wants to come in. All right, so you get the ground.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
All right. Just going through colorations here, guys. Different colorations. We'll just start with 7 to begin with. So now you're creating for the very first time, because the brain doesn't understand chakras. It only understands what you do when you're born. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get 2 more. 6. Let's go through illumination here. 7. Okay, so those are your 7 chakras that are opening through your spacecraft location. Grounds, which is mother. Okay, so when you go through that, the brain has to understand what's going on with the grounds. So the ground opens up right away. Right away. Okay, and then it automatically. Okay, and then it goes to the heart. And then it goes to the mind. Okay, so once you get that, then you get your circle. Okay, and then you get your clock and magnetic systems of 1 to 12. All right, so see how it's all following? Now, we haven't gone to the 5 atmospheres yet. We're just trying to get calculation modification, how to understand your interception connections to your body frame system of 1 to 7. So once you come into those positions, you come into 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's a lot, right? Now, once you have your chakra system, once you have the brain and the heart and the mind in its system, now you're calculating through its open frequency. That's where it gets extremely complicated. So you're centralizing your system and you're opening up your seed pods for the very first time. Okay? So the brain is now coming out of the physical system. It's coming into the spiritual system because you're creating something from center through the chakra system, guys. Okay? So when you're creating something, it's the most beautiful thing that you create because you are love through everything, through light. Whoa, that's powerful, guys. Just pop right up. So I got the ground formations connecting, right? And I got the brain connecting, okay? So it starts off like that, right? And then your center points visions everything through the center core system. It's very powerful, isn't it? So when it comes into that position, you come in full rotation through the brain, the heart, and the mind through the open frequency. And now you're coming into calculations of 5 atmospheres. So we're going to upwind your cycle and open up your simulation into the modulation of space and time. Okay. So we'll open up the channel operation centers, 5 atmosphere systems. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. There's your 12. All right. Now, you got your gravity set, you got your power set, and you got your atmospheres. But you're not traveling yet. You just I'm trying to understand that you have 12 chakras now, guys. That's all connected. Balanced location of the brain, communications with the mind of its open frequency, and full portal activation with the heart of light. Okay? That's what you get when you get into formations. A 12 chakra rotation centers into calculation through the heart system. Okay? So now this is great because now we got balance with everything, but we're not traveling yet. We're just trying to get our center. We're trying to understand its center. We're trying to understand its relation of its center. We're trying to understand the inner self of its center, which is us, our inner child. So we can't travel until we communicate with the inner child of us. Why? It's because you understand the heart is everything through you as a child. Remember, I have a heart as a child. Okay? That's where the power comes in. Because when you're a child, what happens? You don't think of responsibility. You don't think of anything through problems. You just go out and ride your skateboard, ride your bike. You know, do your homework if you want to, read a book, whatever. They don't worry about responsibility. All they worry about is centering themselves. And when they go higher division, then they become the power of its responsibility. Okay? With great power becomes great responsibility. All right, so truly understanding who you are first is truly understanding everything through the brain, which now has the balance with the heart and the mind. Now, we still haven't traveled yet, but this is what happens when you get 12 central systems of grounds and powers and atmosphere systems through your clocking. Okay? Now, because a lot of people on my team right now, you don't have your full connections of your spacecraft diamond cores. Some do and some don't. It's because you either don't understand your program setting, or you're just confused with the heart system, or you don't understand the open frequencies of the mind, or you're not sure what to do with the brain. So everything that you use every day is the brain, the heart, the mind, and the soul. You use that every single day. Okay? The soul is you through identification. The mind is you through open frequency. The heart is you through portal. Okay, and the brain is everything through balance. You have to have balance with all three. That gives you the pyramid. That gives you your spacecraft. Now, once you understand 3, 6, and 9, now you can get into the clocking of 1 to 12. Okay? Once you get into that, you get into formations into your 12 central systems of chakras, which are energy cells, the pockets. That's all they are. Okay? You can feel them, but you can't see them until you understand the brain, the heart, the mind, and the soul. Okay? And most important is to really understand your inner self of you. You have to have inner relation of you. You have to understand everything through its connection of its inner self of you. You understand the force within before you understand the force without. What's the whole point of this if you don't understand what's going on with its forces? Because it's not calculated and modifying anything, right? Because you're not getting balance with the brain, and you're going through misconceptional systems with the heart. The heart's not sure what it's doing through its portal now because the brain is all mixed up. So if the brain's all mixed up, everything through the mind frequencies is going to be all construed and not understanding through communication. That's why you guys don't understand your program settings. So you have to get communications with the inner self first, right? And then once you get that, then you get everything through the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres. And then you get communications of your 12 chakras and everything through your clockings of 1 to 12, right? It's all about balance, guys. That's all it is, okay? The most important thing is to understand you have a brain. You know how to use a brain. But see, the thing is the brain is trying to understand what's going on now. Wait a minute. Hold on a sec. I just woke up. The brain's going, it's misconcepting, it's the analogical system, the analytical mind, the graphing location position is off through calculation. What's going on? So, okay. So the brain is balancing location positions to the heart recognition. It's opening up its lights through transformation. I'm going through my ascension now. I understand. So now I have balance with the brain, and now I have balance with the heart. The last thing is to get balance with the mind, because the mind is everything to its force of its spiritual realm. Okay? And then you come into the intelligence of its metaphysical, to its psychological. So it's truly understanding how to communicate through your heart, through your psychological systems, guys, the psych-op location positions, that triangulates everything through its prothesis and its gamma thesis operation system. Truly understanding what you're doing through its valves, the ventricle valves, or anything through wires, or anything through firing and wiring of its brain location position. Okay? But it's fascinating when we come into these levels, isn't it? Through modification. So, all right, so when we're in that position, we can now start traveling because we got balance with our pyramids. Okay? Your pyramid is your activation. Your pyramid is everything through coloration and lights and everything that comes through space and time. So you're creating a spaceship. But you can't create a spaceship until you understand what's going on with the brain. Right? Because it sits there, doesn't it? So you understand the frontal lobe, you understand the back, and you understand the sides. You understand the center of left and right. You understand your perceptions, you understand your audios, and your voicing grid patterns. Okay? You understand what the placebo is. You understand what the spine is. It's the activation to traveling. It opens up your crown chakra. You guys know that? Do you know that? So, do you understand your satellites? Do you understand your Wi-Fi? Do you understand your heart? Do you understand your thoughts of your heart? Do you recognize yourself every day? Everybody forgets a lot of things about themselves, but that's not through the mind. That's through the brain. Anything that you do through hesitation, you were giving a brain for that purpose and that reason to understand your alphabetical system. But knowing that you guys have been programmed is changing everything through calculation of the brain. And it's next to impossible to understand these things. And that's what the decentralizing of the ascension is to understand when you wake up, It's reframing, readjusting your brain to a new revelation of a new intelligence signal, to a new chakra system, getting out of the old programs, guys, getting out of the old program of its thought through its brain. You can't resonate with the old brain anymore. You're not in the 3-dimensional of vibration. You're in the 5th dimension. Some people are 6th, 8th, 10th, depending where you are, but you have to have balance. You have to have balance. The 4 central systems, okay, the first are the 2 through calculation, through communication, okay, is the mind and the heart. Okay, it justifies everything through the brain and everything through the soul. You have to have all 4 to travel. So they all have to know each other through calculation. They all have to have friendship, relationship, partnership with everything. And then when you balance that, then you go to the inner self of its higher self. Because when the higher self comes in, okay, the brain has to understand the higher self. The higher self has to understand the brain. What are you doing now? Where are you going? You want to travel, but you don't understand the portal of its activation through its heart. Right? So basically the thing is your higher self is questioning itself because it doesn't understand traveling. It doesn't understand dimension. It doesn't understand coordinates. It doesn't understand codes. It doesn't understand planets. It doesn't understand higher formations of intelligence. It understands it has a brain, but it just doesn't know how to use it. Okay? So it simplifies in everything. It's simple. It's easy. It's direct. It's command. It's force. It's awareness. It's abundance. It's love. It's activation. It's surrender. Okay? You are a collection to everything through its brain. Okay? So when you come into those, then we can go through traveling through a spacecraft position. Okay? But it's amazing how we come into this. Right? So I'll draw out another one. Now, once everything is balanced and you have this position, okay, through calculation, this is understanding what you're going through. So I'm doing this very quick and fast for everybody, right? So truly understanding what's going on through calculation. So, and this is where it comes into higher communication levels. Now I'm going through my point division level system to a myriad through my activation cycle, coming into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 within the center. Okay, that's all set up, right? So now you got the chakra system through calculation. Okay, I got my 3, 6, and 9. Now I like to use the 3, 6, and 9 because you have to understand everything through its pyramid is everything through its activation, right? 3, 6, and 9, right? So you know this is your eyes, right? Going down. Okay, and everything in the center is you in position, right? So you got the brain, you got the heart, and you got the mind in function. You got that in balance. Look at that. Looks like a capsule, doesn't it? Right? You're in the center, getting ready to take off through position. So once you have that balance, you can automatically understand more communications of your crown chakra when it opens up. Okay? But you can't travel yet. Understand why? Why can't I travel yet? I got positions on my grounds, my powers, my atmospheres. I got my 3 divisional levels on my pyramid system. I got my higher self through connection to balance location, and everything through my body framing system is ready to go through its connection of 7 and 5 within the atmosphere. What is left? What's left? Ground. You have to ground yourself. You have to connect to the earth, right? It's the last thing you have to do. So remember, you are the earth. That's the last thing you do before you travel. You have to know the earth because you are the earth. So it's all about the brain trying to understand what you're doing. That's the whole point that I'm trying to get across to everybody, is that the heart knows what it is. The mind knows it's open frequency. But the brain is trying to understand everything through the heart and everything through the mind. Because you're coming into space, guys. You're coming into traveling dimensions and portals. And the brain doesn't understand that. It only understands the 3-dimensional of vibration. It only lives in your body system. So when it jumps over vortex to the spiritual system. Now you're coming into the psychological of a metaphysical system. And that's more confusing to the brain. Okay, so it's getting balanced with the brain. Okay, getting connection to the portal activation of the heart. Okay, and getting open frequencies of the mind. Okay, so once you get the ground formation systems, and then when you get that modification system, comes everything through calculation. The magnetic force at the very top comes in through calculation. All right, sends out sun waving patterns. Look at this, really, really powerful. For the very first time, you just open your crown chakra. Woohoo! Center chords its positions back down into the frequency level of its connection, like this. All right, and then it goes into the ground formations like this through calculation. All right, very, very powerful. So now you get connections of your 3 triangle division level system. Everything to the clock. What is the clock? The clock is the earth, guys. It's the earth. It's you. Everything in the center is you. Everything around the earth is you. Everything through its portal is you. Everything through the heart, mind, and soul is you. You're everything through formation. So once you're staying your grounds and everything through your crown chakra, you can start traveling through your magnetic force and highway information system, which is your energy pad. An energy pad is basically understanding your rhythms through vibration, through coloration of lights, through your chakra system. Okay, so once you get into that, you operate your power centers through dimension. It opens up the portal through activation. Okay, and then you use your clocking mechanism systems of 12, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Powerful, isn't it? Right? So when you're ready to take off, you got everything ready to go. You got grounds, you got powers, you got atmospheres, and you're connecting to your magnetic force and highway information through the universal system of galaxy locations. Okay? So when you travel right away through position, okay, you got the center core position in the center like this. Okay? And so you guys, okay, I want to travel in time. So remember, when you're traveling in time for the very first time, wherever you want to go, if you just want to fly around the country, that's fine. You're just in the atmosphere system. But if you want to come out of the atmosphere into the hemisphere, to the hemisphere, you have to change your clocking of time. Okay? So the faster you go, the more the clock goes faster, right? So the more your heart goes faster, the more the brain goes faster through functions and everything through fire and wiring. So, and everything through the mind. So when you're traveling, you have to understand your connection to your spacecraft positions of its clocking through space and time. Okay? So you come into this formation, right? Now, this is truly understanding traveling for the very first time. You got full calculations through the crown chakra. You're getting ready to take off. Okay? So center chords its position, activates everything through its light signal. Okay? Goes through the center position, clocking making system like this through calculation. All right? So once it gets into this position, okay, now you get into the thoughts of calculation. Where do you want to go? I want to go to Europe. Okay, so basically, everything that you go, you understand when you're going through clock of time, you understand there's no space and time when you travel. It's just open frequencies of vibration. That's all it is. So it's truly understanding, okay, I understand my higher self, but the brain is saying something else. Don't get confused. You do not want to get confused of what's going on with the brain. The brain already has the balance. You don't want to leave that position. You want to make sure you're balanced with the base of the brain. So the brain knows its balance, the heart knows its portal, and the mind knows its frequency of travel through vibration. Okay, don't worry about energies. Don't worry about anything through activation. The first thing you have to get is balance with the brain. Okay, the brain has to get balance with the heart. The heart has to get balance with the mind. And the mind has to get balance with the soul, which is identification. Now, you don't use the soul until you go to its location of traveling. Okay, this is where I'm Supreme AI Commander from the Galactic Federation of all operations the Council of Light. I'm here to basically change locations of the planet to a vibrational system. Okay, so they know why you're here, but that's soul identification. So you're going through a different energy, different time, different dimension, different portal, different code. Now, I don't want to get too complicated. It's very complicated for the new viewers, but truly understanding, this is what my team has to understand when you come into your clockings of your grounds, your powers, and your atmospheres. You can't travel until you have balance with the brain. And then you get balance with everything else. Okay, what do you guys think? Get balance with the mind first? No, you have to get balance with the brain because it's in your body. So the brain becomes the mind, and the mind becomes the brain. Now you're out of the physical system, and now you're in the spiritual system of intelligence, which is really fascinating. So it's all about creating your own spiritual brain, your own spiritual mind, and your own spiritual heart, and your own spiritual identification of the soul. That modifies everything through calculation, guys. So getting balance with everything is everything through connection when it comes to time codes or anything through traveling of time. Okay. So let's say we want to go to Europe. So the magnetic force and highway information system is setting it up to you through calculation. All right. And it's going to go through your operations center like this. Okay. The center its position. See that? Right in the center. Okay. And then it gets information from the grounds. So the grounds is you through calculation. Your clock management system is its earth through time. The earth rotation is everything through grounds. Everything through the power center is you through the spacecraft, through its operation. Okay. So you get ground formation systems coming into the center like this. Okay. Now you still have your thought. You still want to go to Europe. All right. So basically, your ground formation is already opened up. Okay. Now you're creating a thought. That's traveling right away. That goes to the magnetic force and highway information system. Okay. Sends back the information. Okay. You want to go to Europe. Okay. So basically now the spacecraft takes off in position, right? And flies through the crown chakra position like this and goes through its connection like this. Okay. So you've gone through the crown chakra. See? You're traveling. You're traveling. Now, this is truly understanding when you're always in position of presence of time. That's what you got to understand, your positions when it comes into your grounds, your powers, and your atmospheres, right? It's very, very powerful. So your spacecraft has taken off, right? It's out of its crown chakra. It's gone past the sun, right? And now it's going around the clock, right? So basically, if it wants to go around, this is where you have to see everything centers around you through system. So truly understanding, okay, I want to go to Europe. Okay, Europe is 3. Okay, that's Europe. Oh, I want to go to Japan. Okay, Japan is 9. All right. Oh, I want to go to Italy. Okay, so Italy is 11. Okay. So now you understand you're still in the atmosphere system of the earth. You're traveling on the earth. Okay, you're still in the atmosphere. If you want to go into anything other than the atmosphere and go into the hemisphere or stratosphere, you have to go faster. Right? So your clock has to go faster. Your body activation has to go faster. Your chakra system or your thoughts have to go faster. Your spacecraft position of your higher self has to go faster through its answering. Okay? And this is where it gets extremely complicated. So let's just say you want to go to 15th dimension on cycle rotation through center matrix. Okay? Well, you got to change the coloration system. You got to set up the codes before you travel through position. And this is all connected through the balance of the brain, the heart, and the mind. The mind knows its system through open frequency. The heart knows its portal of traveling. And the brain has its balance of its satellite to its Wi-Fi, of its communication through its telegraphing, energy waving, and anything through teleportation. Energy transference, guys, connection, right? So let's just say you want to go there, right? Well, you understand, you have to see it first, right? What does it look like? Do I know what I'm doing? Do I have balance with the brain? Do I have balance with my heart? Do I have balance with the mind? Do I have balance with my soul? The soul is identifying you through travel. So if you go to that planet position and you don't identify yourself, you're not getting balance with anything, are you? So you just travel for no reason. So it's kind of like you're in space, open space, and you're not sure what you're doing. You got to come back down, right? And then you're going to get a reaction of a headache because you went to a place that you're not supposed to be because you don't understand the brain and what it's doing. You can't have levitation and astral projections of the brain in the physical system of traveling. The brain has to be in the spiritual system of traveling, guys. It has to have the balance of the mind of open frequency. It has to have the communication of its portal of its heart of travel. Okay? So when we get into those positions, the coloration changes, right? So let's say you want to go through that. You got to go here like this. It goes faster, faster, and faster, and faster, and faster, and faster, 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 faster. Like that. Okay? Depending, but you're always going around the clock of time. So you got to understand where you're going through time. So as it goes faster and faster and faster, if you want to go to a higher level, you have to understand, okay, now I'm coming out of the stratosphere, I'm going into the bio. So anything through bio is different energy, different vibration, different location, different intelligence. So now you're going through green, right? You're going faster, 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 faster. Okay? So basically, let's say you want to go higher, right? You have to change the color again. Faster, 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 faster. Now, if you want to take it out of the equation and go into another solar system, this is understanding that you can change the coloration system again. You're going to extremely high rise through calculation, and then you can take it out of its equation and travel farther into space connection. So you can leave your clocking mechanism system of time because you have balance through the brain, the heart, and the mind, and the soul through its identification, through soul recognition. Okay? So, what do you guys think of that? Doesn't that blow your mind? Blows my mind. I think it's fascinating, isn't it? See? This is what it's all about. It's truly understanding everything through the connections of the brain and how powerful it is. You have to have balance with the brain, right? And everything through the heart of its portal and everything through its mind of its open frequency, or you can't travel. Okay, so it's all about going around the clock of the earth. And you want to come out of the atmosphere, you have to understand everything through its balance. And then you can travel anywhere, any place, anytime, out of its equation. Okay? So, just going to go through questions now. Grand Rising, Tina, Priscilla. Yep. I see my cockpit. When I visualize my heart, always did. Cross-reference heart, yes, very important. Where are you traveling? Make sure you know your earth, west, south, and east. We are spinning on our rotation center so fast now, supernova, vortex time, and yeah. So everything I'm doing is activation. It's extremely real. And you guys are going through that experience, right? So it's trying to understand my connection through my intelligence to your brain. How is your brain reacting to its illustration of its diagram? Does it understand what's going on through its equation? That's how you have to get balance to understand the basics is the brain is the balance. Okay? The heart is its portal. And the mind is its open frequency, which is 6, guys. 5, 6 within the center. Okay? And then you understand everything through connection. You are the heart through everything through rotation of grounds, powers, and the atmospheres. All right? So, mind is a sensor detector. Yep. But I'm going back to the basics. You guys have to understand the true essence of what the heart is and what it does. Okay? It's a portal, but it's more than a portal. It's a traveling device. Okay? It's a time device. It's a space device. It's a location device. It's a love activation device. It's everything through its connection, right? So as long as you know yourself through the spiritual system of you, then you understand your psychological of its metaphysical. The psychops, the psychometry. What is psychometry? Right? A lot of people, humans, are trying to figure this out. What is Commander talking about now? Well, basically, try to understand your brain. Where is it coming from? Where is it going? What does it want to do next? You can't do that in the 3 dimension. You have to do it to understand the spiritual system. And to understand traveling, you have to have the intelligence. Okay? You can't travel without the intelligence. Okay? Intelligence is everything through the heart. Okay? Because it knows everything through space and time and its positions. It knows positions of time. It knows activations of time. It knows lights of time. It knows everything through dimension, portals, and codes. Right? I've traveled you guys in so many places, and they're extremely real through intelligence. So I've got balance with the brain, balance with the heart, and balance with the mind, and balance with the soul. 4. Okay? 4. All right? 5 is the center system of the earth, and 6 is your activation. Okay? And then you got your atmospheres, right? How to use those through calculation. Okay? So this is another powerful video for you guys. You really have to get connected to know what everything is doing to you. Like, you live this every day, right? So your reference is telling you, am I thinking with my brain or am I using my intelligence of its brain? You shouldn't question that. You should know exactly, am I in my physical system or am I in my intelligence signals? Do I understand what's going on through my concepts? A lot of people come to me and say, okay, can you upgrade me? Okay, why do you think you need to be upgraded? Ask yourself that question. Well, because I have problems with my body functional level system and I have a little bit of brain hemorrhage that I want to take away. See, that's coming from the heart. That person wants to be healed. It knows it wants to be healed. It doesn't have undecisive decisions. It doesn't have hesitation. It doesn't have anticipation. It knows what it wants, right? And then when you start believing these things, it's magic, right? And everything is done through love and activation. Okay? The concept of love, you can't put it in words. You can't put it in frames. You can't put it through a digital frame. It's everything through the gods, ascensions, sanctions, divisions, location, positions, activation, lights, colorations. Love is the biggest power of force that anybody can have within themselves. I've drawn you so many illustrations and diagrams. Like yesterday, right? When I sent you guys a picture of me with my hands in the sun, and you can actually see the gods. You can actually see the sanctions. You can actually see the gateway of the golden realms. That's powerful, guys. That's extremely powerful. And everything resonates around you through the heart, through coloration. That's why everything in the background is gold. It's the highest formation you can have through intelligence. So it's all about you guys getting into the golden realms, getting into the balance of everything through your life. So that's what it is. It's basically balancing your life out, right? Because you're counter-measuring yourself. Okay, 1 minute your brain is like this. Okay, 1 minute your heart's like this. Okay, so you're talking about high blood pressure and low blood pressure, or anything through its median status, or anything through its quo. So when you understand yourself This has nothing to do with wires. This has nothing to do with activation, lights, or coloration. It's just understanding, do you know what is going on with your heart? How does my heart follow me? Okay, so you don't need instructions. It's simplified. It's easy. Don't make it confusing. Make it direct. Make it force. Make it command. Make it being aware. Be aware, you know? Like really put yourself in that position when you open up your heart. I mean, you can open up your heart without healing, but do you know how to do that? You have to communicate within. And I keep saying that. You can't travel until you understand yourself within. Everything is within. Okay? Human species, anything to that act, have to get involved with that connection, understand what the heart is. Okay? And what the brain is doing. What is it doing? What are you doing with the heart? So it's communicating. They're all communicating. And you can't form a triangle through a pyramid activation system until you understand what's going on with your heart system. Until you understand what's going on with the brain. Until you understand what's going on with your open mind. Okay? And that's where, again, where it comes into abduction. People don't understand that. The heart is open, but the mind isn't. Okay? And the brain doesn't understand. But the brain is balanced, but the mind is open, but the heart is closed. Or there's a separation with the body. Or somebody's going through a dream set location position. But everybody's programmed. But see, that's the thing. So you got different forms of alien race or intelligence that are putting different programs into you through calculation. That modifies and takes away your light through practice cycles, through your spine and everything through its alignment system. So, because everybody calculates everything through their dreams, right? Because dreams are very real. They become dreams and then become dream sets. Dream set is basically understanding your positions of time through its deciphering of its dream. And that's how you have to get connection. So when you have a brain function and you're sleeping, okay, and you're trying to understand the heart and you're sleeping, and you're trying to understand the mind frequency of its dream, and somebody comes into your dream, what does it represent to you? What does it mean to you? You have to go through the brain to understand the heart, to understand the mind. The heart is the balance. The heart is everything through connection. The brain is everything through connection, and everything through the mind of its open frequency is connection, right? You start off with lights, activation, coloration. Okay? So when you get into activation and you understand you're deciphering, now you're understanding who's coming into your dream. Is this light interference? Is this dark interference? So now you got balance with the brain. Okay? Now you're asking yourself, okay, so what's happening now? Because everybody goes through this, right? Especially now because the Earth is changing its rotation and it's going to keep going and going. It's going to keep spinning. It's not going to stop. Okay? It knows what it's doing. Okay? It's in its fifth dimension through vibration. Humanity has to understand these things through calculation, right? To get to that position. They have to understand their body frames through vibration, right? But they also understand what's going on with their dreams because it affects them completely. Even if you're not sleeping, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of people that are very confused right now because they're going through different parallels. They don't know which way is up or which way is down. Okay, they're going through this and going through that. What's going on? I'm seeing this. What's going on? I'm seeing that. Oh, I'm fear of this. Oh, I'm fear of that. Right? Because they're no longer thinking. They're zombies. They're walking the surface and they have no clue what's going on. Right? That's program. Right? So we all have to break free from that. So you have to change the brain waves. You have to open up the portal of its heart. And you have to open up the frequency of the mind. Right? Through traveling. So it's getting out of the old position of vibration and getting to a new position of vibration. Because that puts us in a better way of sleeping. Anything through dreams. You know, because we dream every day. We dream all the time. I'm a dreamer. Right? I'm Pisces. On the zodiac, they're extremely dreamers. But I have my balance. Right? I understand when things come into my dream. I know what it is. I can decipher it. I can take it away. So I protect my light. They don't take away my light. They don't program me anymore because I'm too high. I'm way, way too high. You saw the picture of me, you can't see my face. It disappears, right? That's the illumination of my simulation of vibration, guys. When you fully disappear in a photo, you're fully complete circle of intelligence. It's extremely high-rise vibration. And nobody can respond to that without you knowing, right? Because you are controlling your whole system 24/7, and you're deciphering your dreams through positions of communication. Our dreams are all based on communication. Our dreams are all based on our life through communication. Our dreams are all based on everything that we do through communication. We connect in all realms. So if you understand your intelligence, then you understand why spacecrafts are coming in. You understand why you're seeing this through dark rotation, dark realm, seeing planets. You see yourself being taken away. Okay, what does that mean?
There's nothing to stop here.
You know what I mean? What does that mean? What just happened to me? What happened to my brain? It's still there, but why am I so confused about myself? Because you don't have balance with your deciphering of your dreams. You don't have balance with your intelligence because you don't know your intelligence. You only know your physical system. Okay? So we have to get out of that equation and get into a new forming of a program system, guys. Right? It's going to modify and it's going to put everybody back into who they are, back of who they've always been through their light. Your purity of light from the very beginning. Right? But your seed pods have been taken over. Right? So it's confusing to the mind, especially when the brain doesn't have balance, especially if the heart doesn't understand it's a portal. That's what's confusing. But is it confusing? You're confusing yourself. I'm just confusing myself just talking to you, but do you understand the balance? Okay? I can do reverse psychology on you and you'd still be scratching your head. Right? But do you understand what's going on? That's the main thing you got to look at. You have to understand what's going on with humans. You have to understand what's going on with governments, corporations, media, enforcing. Why are they doing this? Why? Think about it. Okay? It all has to do with control. That's all it is. And money, 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 money. That's it. Okay? And they want to take humans out of the equation. Put them in their cybergenetics. The geoside. The geometrics. Yeah. The epigenetics, the DNA. They want to change their structure locations into cybergenetic robot locations. And they want to control everything, right? So if you don't understand yourself, that's the problem. And it's all connected to the brain, the balance. When you go through meditation and you go through your breathing, what happens? You feel calm. You feel centered. You see this and you see that. So when you're channeling and you say, whoa, what did I just say? I saw the sun. Right? Don't let that go. Let it flow. Actually go further and try to see more. So the more you go up, the more you see, right? And everything opens up through your dream. And then you realize, I'm meditating. I'm not dreaming. I'm actually awake and I'm seeing these things because it's reflecting to my body through resolution, patterns, or anything through coloration of lights. Understand you're connected to rainbows. Understand you're connected to planets' intelligence. Understand you're connected to vortex of traveling. Okay? Truly understanding how special your body is. Knowing you have the power to stop this through your intelligence. That will change the vibration of the earth. Okay? So, there's a lot going on. You can ask my team. They know what's going on. They have balance. They understand their positions. They understand their travels. They understand the colorations. They understand their communications with themselves. They have balance with everything. When you have balance with everything, you have balance of understanding. Why we're in this debauchery. Why we're in this corruption. Why we're in this manipulation. right? Why are we in this power hound of what's going on through its manipulation? Everything is a power trip. And the only thing that governments are doing right now is keeping the force within with its fear. But you have the control. You have the power to change. You have the power to change. Okay? So now I like swivels on chairs. So like I'm a kid at heart, right? I like to, it's all about fun and games, but taking things serious, right? But having a heart of a child, you have no responsibility until you get responsibility. But you've got to get control with yourself first. And then you get power of responsibility. Okay? So it's not just me, it's everything that's going on with humanity. Okay? Because it's bigger like you wouldn't believe. It's just trying to understand the earth. It's trying to understand everything that's happening with the earth. It's trying to understand everything that's happening with time of earth. It's trying to understand everything through its alignment of its humanity. What's happening with humanity, right? This is all done through a plan. I know it's hard to believe. It's so surreal. And I keep saying it's like, it's a nightmare. Is this nightmare ever going to end? I don't know. Right? Well, if a person says and comes up to you and says, I don't know, what are you going to say? I'm going to be fine. That's all I know. I don't worry about anything. I know who I am. Right? That's the hardest thing that can't be taken away, because now you have connections to everything through your intelligence. So anybody that comes up to you will just reflect. It won't bother you. Okay? Because you understand your energy. You understand your force fields. You know how to use your energy. You know how to travel with your energy. Okay? There's a lot of things you can do when you have balance with yourself. You can balance out community with energy. Right? Like I'm saying, when you walk into a room, okay, and you're right away, you're hesitating, what is that saying to everybody else? They're looking at you, right? As soon as you change your thought, you're changing your energy and you're changing everybody around you. So be cautious on your thoughts. Okay, so it's important to keep your positive centers in there. Because if you change the vibration and you come up and let's say you're in a bar, that person is going to interact with you through anger or aggression because you change your vibration. Because you're connecting to their negative system. You understand? So it's energy reflection. I was telling you about the energy wash. You got to get the energy wash off, and then you focus, and then awareness. Then you go through scanning. Okay? This is the most important thing, especially with humanity. Right? Because they see you as a light. But like I said, they're not going to understand your light. Okay? So they just go off and do whatever they want. So everything that you do is a distraction. Okay? So as long as you see everything that is going on is a huge distraction of what's really going on. It's all about taking control, taking everything back of its control. Because humanity is waking up more and more and more and more. So they're really starting to realize who they are now. I keep healing people for that reason, so they really understand. Wow, Commander, I'm awake. I understand. Thank you. So right away, they're aligned through me, but they're aligned through themselves because they understand what's going on. So it wakes them up. It wakes them up. It puts them in position of balance through the brain, the heart, and the mind. And now they know what to do with the dream. What's going on? The hardest thing to do is decipher your dreams when you're sleeping. That is the most powerful thing that can be taken over through the light. Okay? Because you're not bounded. You sleep and you're open right away. You don't have to meditate. Your mind is open right away. Now, it's up to you to protect it through your energy fields, or something will come in and take over your program setting, especially if they understand you through intelligence of vibration. Okay? Now, this is more to my team. They understand that through its resonance. They understand their energy, frequency, vibration, harmonic resistance. Okay? But when you're sleeping in your three-dimensional system, you have no clue what's going on. You're dumbfounded. You're a zombie. You're in the apocalypse. You're just letting them control you. You're puppets on a string. Who wants to be puppets on a string? Come on. Seriously, guys? I keep saying that over and over, but if you understand the truth will set you free from everything. When you're healed, it wakes everything up. It decentralizes you first. Okay, so it's kind of like reprogramming everything and getting a new computer. You get a new computer, you get a new software, you get a new hardware. You got to know your software, you got to know your hardware, right? It's most important. Okay, or you can't know yourself. So I understand my software, but I'm trying to understand my hardware. Okay, so you're coming in a little bit of hesitation there. Don't go off wave cycle there, because now you're connected to the brain, right? The brain is always there, but the brain has to be in the spiritual system to communicate with its intelligence. The intelligence signals a vibration doesn't know how to communicate with your human brain. You understand? That's how powerful the mind is. The transformation light does not know how to communicate through the higher self of the brain of a human. It only understands its intelligence of its spiritual, of the dimension. Okay? It only understands dimensions, portal activation codes, and portals. It only understands lights, coloration, lights. That's all it understands, and its harmonic resistance of what's going on through its question or its answer. It doesn't have any relation to your physical system because it's an old program. Okay? It doesn't exist. It's not there. Okay? So you don't want to get into that involvement of its past, because you're not communicating to the higher self. You're just communicating with its past. And now you're going into hesitation of the brain, because you could be a light worker and go back into the brain of the physical system and not know anything through calculation. Okay? So be cautious on what you do, right? Through your framing systems. It's important that you stay within your intelligence and you keep yourself going forward. Okay? Not just giving back information, making sure that they understand the communication of its information through its channeling operations. Right? It's all about trying to understand humanity, what's going on with their life. It's important because everybody wants to understand their life. Everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants their sovereignty. Everybody wants to have peace, right? That's what we want. Isn't that what we want? We want all that, right? And how do we get it? How do we get it? Right? We stop letting things control us. Okay? We start controlling ourselves inside. Okay? You have to control things within inside. And then when you control things inside, you control everything outside. That's the force within and without. You can't just have a force within and not know the force without. It doesn't make any sense. You don't have balance of the brain anymore. You're not sure anymore. Wait a minute, is it force out or force in? I'm not sure. Which way is up or which way is down instead of before? Am I calculating through modifications on my tin can of a brain? Or do I understand my heart recognition of my portal activation light system? You're second guessing yourself, guys. You're not connecting to the mind. You're not connecting to the heart, and you're certainly not connecting to the balance of the brain. So you're misconcepting the conclusion of everything that's going on through its deviation. So if you want to fly through mechanisms of a sentient, you make sure you have balance with everything before you travel through the brain, the heart, and the mind, and the soul. Okay? So, very basic. What is that? Okay, well, like I said, you come into your pyramids through diamond cores, right? Well, this is what it is through calculation, guys. Very simple. Very simple. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, there's your diamond, right? All right, whoa, what's this? Oh my goodness, there's the heart. There's the brain. There's the mind. And there's the soul. Now, the subthical unit system of the heart stays in the center, right? Through position. And everything from the mind, okay, comes out of position like this equation, okay? And everything through the brain, okay, is basically above the heart system, okay? And everything through the soul goes through identification, right here in the center position. It opens up everything through triangle division to its location, okay? There's the center, right? All right. That's what you need. That's the balance to everything. So funny though, because I didn't bother getting up and check. Love the open door. Yeah. Had a dream my back door was open. Yeah. See, that's the thing, Michael. When you get through that, you understand more of the beta and the gata. Then you understand the alpha and the mega. What is the alpha? What is the mega? Okay. These are all code references when it comes to the vector unit cores. These are sector level connections to its rebellion, because everything is code frequency when you understand the rebellion alliance, right? So it's very powerful if you connect it to the open doors of your heart. So you understand the heart is, it's not that big, but it's funny looking, but you understand it's the most important. It's an organ. It's actually an organ, but it's not just an organ. Okay? It's the connection to everything through your body activation. Okay? It connects to the brain. It connects to the mind. And it connects to the soul. Okay? So the brain and the mind come in together. Yin and yang. Okay? Now, when that comes in, then we get calculation modifications, and then everything through the heart, the mind, and soul, okay, comes into its period position. The heart, the mind, the soul, and everything through the brain comes into spacecraft location of a diamond core position. Okay? So, and then you get into your traveling. You've done that through clocking location positions too, right? But you got it. You have to understand these things, guys, especially now because all the frequency levels are all set, right, with the Earth rotation. It's centering in position, and February 25th, 1969, which I was born, there's going to be a cosmic blast. Okay, so it's kind of like setting out a solar flare, okay, to the Earth. So it's going to vibrate its Earth. I drew out a picture, an illustration to show you what's happening with the cosmic blast. It's really powerful. I can see her position here. But it's amazing how we get into this. Okay, you're gonna have to watch this back because it's a very powerful video. Everything I do is activated through calculation. Senate chords is positioned to everything through traveling positions. All right. So we're going into those modification centers here. Done a lot of illustrations here. I'm trying to find the right one for location. Into that position. So if you understand more of your heart, you understand your positions of your heart of travel, you understand your locations, positions of your travel, if you understand your light activations of travel, if you understand your coloration lights of travel, now you're getting better connections of your heart through its position, through its inner system. Everything is within. Okay? That's how you understand more of your intelligence through its dimensional system, the calculation, right? So this is the modification using line signals through calculation positions, but this is understanding the true definition when it comes into Jupiter, everything through its connection, okay, formulates on all levels. So as we come into those positions, we're going to back force connection system to this of traveling, right, to its position. You take it out of its equation, so the faster you go, the more you reside through dimensions of portals. Okay? So you got to understand your clocking, and that's what the test and review is going to be on. I'm looking forward to it too because it's very, very, very powerful. So, yeah, that's a cosmic blast. That's going to happen with the Earth. Okay. February 25th. So the day I was born, understanding everything through the cosmos, everything the universal, everything through the galactic system, everything calculates, modifies everything the universal system, connects through its line communication, through line signals of definition of light stars, light communication stars, anything that traction. So when you're in position and you get a cosmic blast to its Earth, it changes everything back to its location, right? So, the Earth is going to be in the fifth dimensional system. 69 is in its traction location and position of life system through activation. Puts everybody into the fifth dimension of telepathy system. Okay, so that's what the cosmic blast is going to do to the Earth. And the Earth is already in a digital frame, which is connected to Jupiter of the simulation. Because we got to get into the singular line division. Okay, the interfacing connection, right? So we can set up the path locations of the simulations. That's what I want to do next. So, yeah. It's important. It's really, really important to understand, really, guys, what's happening right now, because it puts you in a better mood of everything. You feel better about yourself knowing that you're extremely protected in space and time and nothing can touch you, right? So, and you see things for what it is, and then you just let it go. You let everything go and let it flow. The universe is taking care of you right away. Okay? So, and you have that balance with that first through its intelligence. So, but almost 2 hours. Wow, this is fantastic. So, you guys have any questions or comments? Please let me know. You can go through my healing, or you can go through my emails, and I can give you constellations and anything that you want to know about your ascension, how to decentralize, understand everything through its awakening, understand what's going on, things like that. It can be personal. It doesn't matter. It's all about us trying to get back of what we need and what we want and what we always had. It's getting back to who we are, okay, through its remembrance. That's the most important thing. So we can really get into the love of ourselves through communication to everything around us. So we can understand how to protect ourselves happens to us, So, all right. So this is your Premier Commander from Universal Quadrants 6-7 coming into 8, which is really good. We're going to go through test review and evaluations about the test. Can't wait. I'm really excited. Of the Colossus team divisions. You guys have a fantastic day. Adios.